what I'm going to be teaching you guys here today, if any of you guys have ever heard of Nadex, some of you guys probably have, some of you probably haven't, but what it is it is a completely new way to trade. So not only am I going to be showing you strategies to trade on Nadex, you can actually take those strategies and apply them to ETFs or futures or stocks, whatever you trade, but I'm also going to introduce you guys to a completely new product that not many people have heard about. It's called Nadex, and I'm Jack Gleason with Major League Trading, and this is my best 6 setups I use to trade Nadex. So before we begin, I have to read the obvious disclaimer so you guys know that trading is risky and involves risk. So no representation is being made that the use of this strategy or any system or trading methodology will generate profits. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. There is substantial risk of loss associated in trading securities and options and equities. Only risk capital should be used to trade. Trading securities is not suitable for everyone. Disclaimer: futures, options, currency, and binary options all have large potential rewards, but they also have large potential risk. You must be aware of these risks and willing to accept them in order to invest in these markets. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. What does that mean? Don't take your rent check and trade with it. Don't take your child support if you got it and trade with it. This website is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or currencies. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses. Some of those discussed in this web presentation, the past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. CFTC Rule 4.41. All right, cool. Now that we're through that, we can get into the educational side of things. I jump right into it. I don't need to sit here and waste your guys' time. I know it's extremely important, but what I would like you to do, a couple things. If you're watching Facebook, get out of it. You're going to want to be paying attention here. If your kids are running around, put them in their room, because this is going to help pay for their college. And probably it's Saturday, so you should take the day off anyway. Grab a pen and paper. Write these 6 trades down. We're going to be going over the charge trade here today. I'm going to be going into detail on how to look for this setup and how to apply Nadex to actually trade this type of setup. So we have the charge, the halfway back, the bully, the dive, the leg start, and the flunk. Now, each one of these trading setups I use in different market situations. As we all know, and any of you guys have been trading for a bit, market has different trends. We have bear trends, bull trends, and trends where the market trades sideways. I have geared each one of these setups for each type of market condition we're in. So no matter what the market's doing, you always have an opportunity to take advantage of. These are the most powerful setups in trading, and I'm super excited to share them with you. So today's agenda. How many of you guys have heard of binary options and or Nadex? Just a curious question to get a feel for the crowd here today. And I'm going to be going over how binary options work. I'm going to tell you why I use Nadex to trade versus some of the other brokers who I don't necessarily trust. I'm going to explain to you the full costs associated with binary options, so if you do choose to make an investment in both your time and capital, you fully understand any and all costs associated with trading, because, just like any other business, you got to know your fixed costs. Then we're going to go over the 7 reasons traders fail. These are things that I've either seen through my students or me personally had to overcome to reach a level of success. I'm going to be going over and discussing my favorite trading setup I use, which set up multiple times this week. If you guys paid attention to the markets on Thursday, we had that big move down. This setup would have helped you get in the trade and been profitable in every single market that it triggered. So it's something that if you don't use next week, you'll probably be using it sometime soon, and that's why you should definitely be paying attention to this. And then we're going to go over just some things you can do to increase your success in trading and take you to the next level. All right, so binary options. Let me just take a look at the comments here to see who has actually heard of binary options and or Nadex. Binary options are a simpler form of options, in my opinion. So what it's doing, and what binary options, the way they're structured, is it breaks trading down to a yes or no market position. So you either think we are going up, yes, we'll go higher, or no, will go lower. So it's extremely simple from that aspect. You don't necessarily have to figure out if we're going up 30 cents or $3 or $30. You just have to figure out if you think we are going to be above or below a specific level, whether that level is based on a setup or just general support and resistance. This really breaks down, and this is a great product for newer traders. In fact, this probably wasn't around when any of the other panelists began trading. It wasn't around when I began trading. So, it's kind of like new technology for trading. The small starting capital is also a big bonus. I know, if you want to day trade stocks or even day trade options, you need 25 grand in your account. Otherwise, you're going to be flagged by the pattern day trading rule. That's going to limit a lot of people, and they're going to be unable to day trade because they just don't have $25,000 in their account. Or if they do, maybe they just don't want to have that all in one account. They spread their assets around. But starting capitals as small as $250, which lowers the barrier to entry for day trading this product to pretty much anybody. So, once again, another reason you should be paying attention, because there's not anybody in this room that, should be trading that can't afford to put $250 in an account. Whether that's today, tomorrow, in 2 months, if you're working $250, you could scrape that together and begin trading. So the exits are actually going to be based on time, which also makes this a completely different product than something you would typically trade. And we'll go over all of the strikes, but timed exits are, they have them as short as 5 minutes. I don't typically trade those. They have 20-minute exits, hourlies at the end of every day, so that's 4:15 New York, and at the end of every week, which really allows traders, me and you, to have as many options as we want. A lot of times we'll have a support level that we believe is going to hold on the first time it trades. That's called the first test, but we're not quite sure about the second test or even the third test, so we're just more interested in that specific setup on that specific day. Using binary options, we have that option to just trade it on that day. We don't need to go out and buy the monthly contract or even the end of the week contract. I'm not looking to maybe hold a position. Especially if you're a day trader, do you want to hold a position for 15 days? The answer is no if you're a day trader. So why buy a product that's 15 days till expiration? There's no sense in that. And so the markets you can trade, which is also really cool. So we have the 4 big indexes in the United States, in case you guys don't know what those are. It is the Dow, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Russell. Then we also have access to foreign markets. So those of you guys who are typically working during the day but come home at night and want to take a look at the markets, you are going to be able to trade the Chinese market, the Japanese market. You are going to be able to trade all of the currency pairs that are big, Euro USD, Euro JPY, and as well as commodities, things like gold, oil. Oil had a huge move Friday because they had that OPEC meeting. So foreign markets, commodities, currencies, indexes, and all of this is CFTC regulated. Now you have access to global markets, currency markets, commodity markets, and stock markets all in the same platform. So if you want to talk about, if you can't even, I don't even know how to set up an account to say trade Chinese stocks, to be honest, or Japanese, or German, or the German market, or the London market, but all of that is done here on one account. So that's a big benefit for, number one, both traders who do trade the normal 9:30 to 4 o'clock time frame, and traders who come home from work and their time only allows them to be active in the evenings or even early morning. So this is literally the perfect product for a technical analyst, and allows anybody with any free time, no matter what the time of the day, to discover a product that they can trade. Now, it's every single one of these options contracts is limited risk. You are not trading on leverage. You are not susceptible to unlimited loss, and that's a crucial risk control that you are going to want to have when trading anything. So what does a binary option contract look like? I'm going to explain this in detail so you guys will know how this stuff works. But Nadex binary options are limited risk contracts based on a simple yes or no market proposition, like will the markets go up at the end of the trading week, or will they go down? Looking at weekly charts, it's very easy to see when markets are trending very hard hard in one direction or the other. And if you could just decide if you think we're going to be higher or lower and not be so concerned about how much higher we're going or how much lower we're going, but just that we're going to be above or below a level, you can increase your probability of success. And increasing your probability of success as a trader is always a crucial thing that you need to be doing. Binary options are going to offer traders ways to trade the most active stock indexes, commodities, forex events, and actually even Bitcoin markets, believe it or not. So you can actually trade Bitcoin markets as well on this same platform. They're cash settled contracts that settle with an all or nothing payout if you leave them till the expiration. So if you wait till the contract expires, you either receive the full value per contract, which is $100, or you receive nothing, obviously $0. So if you're right, you win. If you're wrong, you lose. Now, you are able to trade in and out of this product at any given time. So you can get in at 8 o'clock, be out at 9, or you can get in at 8 o'clock and hold it all the way to the expiration at 4 p.m. So on the top left here, this is what a Nadex binary option order ticket is. So what we have is the strike price. So it'll say US 500, which is also known as the S&P 500, and our strike price here is 1947. So what does the strike price mean? As a trader, this is a price that you need to decide whether you believe we will be above or below that level based on your analysis. So in this current situation, we have the index actually trading at 1948.3, and the strike price is 1947. What does that mean? Well, that means if we expire exactly where we're trading and you have bought the contract and you held it till expiration, you will win the contract. You will receive $100 per option contract that you buy. Now, with this specific case, the probability is already in your favor considering we're actually above that strike price. So you could purchase this contract for $60. And if we expire at whether it's 1947.1 or 1957, it does not matter. You will be receiving the full payout of $100 per contract. Now, on the opposite side, if we were in a bear trend and you were going to anticipate the market to continue lower, you could actually sell on the bid. And selling on the bid, that is actually going to be your reward. Now, because the probability is lower and we're already above that price, so if we were to trade below, you would be paid a higher percentage on your risk. So all it is simple as deciding whether or not we're going to be above or below specific levels. In the S&P 500, those levels are every 3 points. Those are the strike prices that you will trade. So if we have 1947, we'll have 1950, 1953, 1956, etc., etc. So there'll be stacked levels every 3 points on the daily expiration that you can choose whether or not you will think will be above or below. Why binary options are much better than regular options? Well, regular options, you're constantly having to calculate volatility. What's a volatility versus historical volatility? Is there earnings coming up that's jacking out the implied volatility that you need to be aware of? Are you going to sell a put? Are you going to buy a call? What expiration are you going to go with? Are you going with the weekly or the monthly? What's your delta? What's your theta? Those are all things you have to consider, and they're constantly changing as the volatility of the market changes. So the price of an option, although it can be calculated within a relative range, there's times where you can be right on the direction of options, but you actually don't end up making money. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been in that position where you end up, being in a position, you bet that a stock is going to go higher on earnings. The stock goes higher on earnings, even above the strike price that you had bought, and then you actually end up losing on the trade. There's not a worse feeling to be right on the direction, but actually go about and lose money. Now, with binary options, if you're right on the direction, you are paid for being right, because if we expire above that level, every single time how much money you're making per contract, and that is $100 per contract, the total value of the contract. And of course, you can scale up. You can take $10,000 positions. You can take $20,000 positions if you're trading that big. But the advantage of having option contracts that cost at the money $50 is that smaller accounts are allowed to control the risk much better. If you have a $2,000 account and you want to trade a $300 option, well, that's 15% risk on your portfolio per trade. You are guaranteed to lose. Sooner or later, you'll lose 3 trades in a row. It happens to the best of traders, and you would draw down on your account significantly. So the ability to actually have smaller contract sizes is crucial. So why Nadex binary options? As a CFTC registered exchange and clearinghouse, Nadex adheres to regulations including matching the buyers and sellers. Nadex does not participate in any trade. So they're not taking the opposite side of your trade. They have an interest in actually you consistently being profitable. Most like any broker, they want to see you win, because the more you win, the more you're going to trade, the more commissions they earn. Nadex is going to hold all of your funds in segregated account top tier U.S. banks, Fifth Third Bank, BMO Harris, and it gets its income solely from exchange fees and not from taking positions in the market. Now, that's what makes Nadex different than other binary options brokers, because there is a few who are overseas and they are definitely shady. If they're not regulated by the CFTC, I do not recommend trading on that platform. Things like IQ options, they're not regulated. Nadex is regulated and Cantor is regulated. Nadex binary options has a much wider range and much tighter spreads than Cantor. That's why I choose to trade on it. Now, that's the difference between being an exchange and a broker. A few of my favorite benefits of trading Nadex binary options: it's limited risk. The maximum amount you can lose on every trade is what you put in. So if you trade with $50, there's no possibility you will lose more than $50. If you trade with $500, there's no possibility you will lose more than $500. Now, go to the options market. If you want to sell an options contract, you are susceptible to unlimited risk. If you get caught in a buyout, if you get caught in a situation where you sold an option contract and you sold it for, say, $100, and that option contract you could take a $10,000 loss on technically. So you really have unlimited risk when trading traditional options from the naked short selling side, or if you're trading on margin, whether that's stocks, futures, or forex, you also have unlimited risk. So with Nadex, you do have the advantage of being able to double your money on any trade you pay $50 or less for, without the unlimited risk, just like you would with a binary options but unlike a regular options contract, the risk is completely limited. So low collateral required is one of the big ones. This is something I discuss a lot with some of my newer members and newer students. Most people, when they begin trading, or even if they're learning a new product, don't want to go and stick $25 grand, $100,000 in a single trading account. So what they can do is they can open accounts with much smaller account minimums, and they can take contracts, binary option contracts. The maximum amount a binary option contract can actually be is $100, but you're never going to buy a contract for $100. In fact, most of the contracts I buy cost between $30 to $50. I typically will not pay more than $50 per contract, because then my risk-reward ratio is skewed. At $50, you have a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. At $25, you have a 1 risk is 3 reward. So the cheaper you pay, the more reward and potential that you have, but you're never going to realistically be paying more than, at max, you would be paying like $50 if you're buying at the money or slightly out of the money contracts. Now, there's short-term contracts, which is going to give people like me and you options, okay? That is what we want. When we're trading, we want options. We want to be able to decide whether or not we want to hold the position till the end of the day. If it's just going to be a day trade, why do I need 3 weeks till the expiration? I'm just looking for that market to move or hold that specific level that day. Now, you can go all the way out to the end of the week, or you can go all the way down to the next 5 minutes. That is up to you as the trader. But the fact that Nadex just offers those tool sets that traditional options don't, make it a completely different and completely new platform. And that's what I was saying at the beginning of this webinar, is I'm going to be teaching you a completely new way to trade On top of that, I'm going to be showing you a strategy to trade this completely new instrument. So we're going to get into that strategy here in just a moment. But before we do, let me tell you my favorite part about binary options is I know that when I enter into a contract, exactly what my profit or loss will be. There is no guesswork. You know exactly how much you will make and exactly how much you will lose. When people first begin trading, or when they're new and still in the learning stage, say you buy a stock or an option and you're anticipating a certain move, but that move doesn't happen, and then you buy an option contract for $2, you were going to get out at $2.50, now it's trading $1.80, and now your whole plan has been screwed up. So like eliminating some of those factors that are going to create psychological confusion is one of the best things you can do when you first begin trading, and that's why this is one of the best products out there for people to learn how to trade on. Binary options are the best product for price action traders. I'm a technical analyst. Most of you guys have probably learned a little bit about technical analysts looking at past behavior of the markets to predict future price movements, and there's really not a better product to do that on than Nadex binary options. So you guys fully understand the costs associated with it. It is $1 per contract, and that's capped at $50. So that means if you trade 100 lot, you won't pay more than $50. If you trade a 1 lot, you will pay $1. If you trade a 2 lot, you will pay $2, so on and so forth until you start trading 50 lots, and then your risk or your commissions are completely capped. Now, if you look at some of these other brokers here, these are some of the biggest brokers in the option industry, and you can see, the cheapest thing on here, and these prices, are of recent, so maybe they've lowered them since I created this slideshow here, but you're looking at, if you want to buy one contract, $4.95 is the cheapest option we have here. On top of that, we're paying 50 cents a fee. So if you want to get in and out of that trade, that's $10. Okay, we'll say I'm taking an option contract that cost me $50, and I'm paying $10 in commissions, not even including the spread. That means I need a 20% move in the underlying option just to break even on commissions. So if we get a 30% move, 20% is gone with commissions, and you get left with 10%. That's not very attractive to me. Break that down with Nadex, $1 per side. We eliminate the cost of trading one contract by 80%. So eliminating your cost, most people don't think that commissions are a big deal, but I'll tell you what, when you trade thousands of contracts a year, it really, really adds up. I remember looking at the last time I traded options, looking at my option commission bill at the end of the year, and I saw it and I was like, wow, I could have bought myself a pretty nice car with that. So commissions for the S&P 500. So if you were to trade the SPY contract, so the SPY is the ETF of the S&P 500, an at-the-money strike right here, and this is an example from a couple months ago, but the at-the-money strike for the weekly contract was $1.87. So that's multiplied by 100, so I needed $187 to buy one contract. With Nadex, the weekly contract here was $52. So back to, if you have a $2,000 account, you either got, 7% risk on your portfolio, or right around 7.5% risk on your portfolio, or you have 2.5% risk on your portfolio. If you're taking 7% risk per trade, that's a very high risk level per trade. If you're taking a 2.5% risk per trade, that is a a significantly lower risk level. So once again, it's going to allow you traders to have more control over the risk you're putting on your account. Not to mention that the cost of trading those contracts is actually going to be lower. There's 7 reasons that traders fail. They trade products they don't understand. I remember when I first began trading, a lot of the things I was doing, I didn't really understand why I was doing them. And because they were more complex. I mean, how many option traders out there fully understand the mathematics behind Black-Scholes module? I would say probably a very small percentage. Many people don't know their exact max risk and their exact max reward at their trade entry. This is going to create psychological confusion. If you are trading and you are constantly psychologically confused, you are going to be put in a situation where you are going to mess up. Any kind of confusion in trading is just going to make everything more difficult. I like to say keep trading as simple as possible. As simple as possible. And by keeping things as simple as possible, you're going to increase your probability of success. You know, a lot of times you get into trading, it gets overwhelming. You don't know about exits. You don't know about entries. You don't know about stop losses. With Nadex, we're breaking it down to a simple yes or no market proposition. Do you think the markets are going higher, or do you think the markets are going lower? Now, without even looking at your charts, or do you guys think the markets are going higher or lower next week? Just throw out higher or lower, just based on the action of last week. Now, that's all you need to decide when you're trading Nadex. Do you think we're going higher, or do you think we're going lower? You don't have to decide if we're going higher by 25 points, 2 points, or 2,000 points. Just tell me, are we going higher or lower? And, you know, nobody knows what's going to happen, but eliminating the confusion is definitely going to help. Also, a lot of people use lagging momentum-based indicators rather than price action. This can definitely lead to you trusting your indicators more than you should. And then most people react to price rather than having a plan of where to trade in advance. You need to trade and have your trade planned in advance rather than seeing a sharp move down and feeling like you have to jump in. You have to have everything planned in advance. And one of the things that's nice about Nadex is because it is trading around the clock, I can trade my plans or I can plan my trades, you know, in the morning, and they might not even trade till 8 o'clock at night. Addicted to chasing both up and down moves. This is something I notice, you know, a lot of people when they first begin trading, they see a down move and then they sell into it and they caught the bottom, or they see an up move and they chase it all the way to the top and then they caught the top. Stay away from chasing moves. It's very crucial to have setups that you are planning. And then really the majority of this is because most people have never taken a proper technical analysis class. They have a completely misguided approach, and they don't know exactly how to go about trading because they're confused, they're brand new to it. So, next slide here. Couple of my favorite quotes. If a speculator is correct half of the time, he is hitting a good average. Even being right 3 or 4 times out of 10 should yield a person a fortune if he has the sense to cut his losses quickly on ventures where he is wrong. Once again, simplifying trading. Are we going up or down? If you can ride your winners and just cut your losers, and all you're deciding is if we're going to end up higher on the day or lower on the day, you can massively increase your probability of success. And then another one of my favorite quotes, a guy named Paul Tudor Jones. If you don't know who he is, look him up after the webinar. But self-made billionaire hedge fund trader, and he says, I'm always thinking about losing money as opposed to making money. Don't focus on making money. Focus on protecting what you have. Right? So my best 6 setups to trade Nadex. Now it is time to move into some technical education. Hopefully at this point in time I fully have explained how to go about using this Nadex platform, and that's why, you know, in my webinar it makes it a little different than some of the ones you've ever seen, because I'm teaching you guys not only a new way to trade in tactical analysis, but I'm showing you guys a completely different instrument that maybe you never have heard of. Some of you probably have, but it's definitely the newest form of trading. It's the future of trading, as I like to say. So we're going to go over the chart here. That's my favorite setup, but I do have 5 more trades, and if you're at the beginning of this webinar, you've already written them down. We have the halfway back, which is great for trendy markets. We have the bully, which is my number 1 go-to during a market consolidation. Then we have the dive, which is designed for catching breakouts and breakdowns. And then the leg start, which is a method I use to identify support and resistance before it actually trades. And then the flunk is how I avoid chasing moves. So every single one of these, and there's just 6 setups. I have this little PDF that I print out. I keep on my desk. It's called my cheat sheet, and it never leaves my side. You know, when you go to class, or say, you know, back in college or high school, your teacher let you bring a 5x6 note card with all your cheat notes. Well, I got a 11 by 7.5 piece of paper with all of these setups on it, and they're kind of my cheat notes. And these are the only setups I use to trade. These are the only setups I teach because, once again, simplicity in trading, especially when you're learning, is very crucial. Once you get super complex, you're going to increase the difficulty. So let's go over the charge trade here, guys. Write this stuff down. This trade set up this week 3 times, profitable every single time it's set up on the indexes. So occurs on days when the market is trending. So what we're going to be looking for is a gap. What is a gap? It's in the morning when the bell rings in New York at 9:30. There has to be a price difference at 9:30, the 9:30 open, then compared to the previous day's close. So at 4 o'clock or 4:15, depending on if you're using the cash or futures close, it doesn't matter as long as there is a gap. So if there's a difference in price from the previous day's close to the morning open, we begin looking for this setup. From there, we're looking for 3 15-minute bars in one direction. So you could come to your desk at 10:15 in the morning New York time and say, is this set up there? Yes or no? This is why I also call this my breakfast trade, because the market could open. You can make yourself a nice breakfast, come back to your computer, and take this trade, and that's really all you have to do the entire day is look for this trading setup. So the reason we're looking for 3 15-minute bars that are either all red or all green in a gap is because a gap is going to show a difference in price between the prior day's agreement on the close and the current day's open, and a move that's 15-minute bars that are all in the same direction off the open is going to tell you that, hey, traders have finally agreed that we're going in one direction. The first 45 minutes of the day are all a rally or all a sell-off. And let me show you what this looks like. So this is the charge trade. This is the breakfast trade. You can see we have a gap down. The price closes, market gaps down. We have 1, 2, 3 15-minute candlesticks all moving higher. From there, I take the low of the day to the high of the day. This is a simple Fibonacci retracement, and what that does is it divides the low of the day to the high of the day by 2 and gives me a blue line. That's a Fibonacci retracement. Doesn't really matter what color the line is, but that is a very basic tool. Now, when we trade into that level, the trading setup I'm looking for is just to close above it. I'm just looking for that to hold as support. So we have a rally off the open, pull back into support. I'm looking for Nadex trades. And like I said, it doesn't matter if we're 220 or 200 points above that level. If we're above that strike price, I will receive $100 per contract, period. So you don't have to be as concerned about catching the best exit, which is what a lot of people try to do. Should I keep holding while it keeps running? Should I take the money while I have it? That's a really hard skill set to learn. But if you just have to be above that level, it makes it much more simple. Same setup, different day. In this case, we have a gap up off the open. 1, 2, 3 bar move up higher. We hold down into the 50% retracement. That is where you find your entry level. That is where you find your entry level. Once again, this setup on Thursday in the Russell, set up in the Nadex, set up in the Dow. Every single trade was a winner. What we're looking for is that pullback into that 50% retracement. Doesn't matter if we're 0.22 or 20 points above, you will receive $100 per contract that you trade. So if you want to trade a 1 lot and risk $50 per trade, you can do that. If you got some cojones and want to trade a 50 lot and you want to lay out, $2,500 on my trade, you can do that. That's up to you as a trader and whatever your risk profile is. Same setup, different market. This is actually in the Russell, and it's a short setup, so this is going to work to the downside too. We have 1, 2, 3 bar move off the open. We come back into that 50% retracement. You can see there's algos that step in, and everything I do is I'm looking for footprints of algos, evidence that there's computer programs selling. When we come directly into a level and go straight down, I know that there is computer programs stepping in and selling that level. Does every trade win? Absolutely not. There's no system that does. So how do we choose the strike price? So like I explained before, you do have multiple options to go out for strike prices. You can either go to the end of the day, which I typically do because I do like a little more time, or you can trade the intraday. So if we have a news event coming up like FOMC and you don't want to be in a futures contract because the market could go anywhere, and you don't want to be in an options contract because the implied volatility is jacked up super high and the options are expensive, but you want to position that's a great example of a time that you could use the hourlies, right after the FOMC announcement or right after jobs numbers. But I don't like to trade with less than 45 minutes till expiration. So if there's, 30 minutes till the contract expires, I'm going to pass on that trade. I want a little bit of time for the trade to work out in my favor, for us to move away from the support or resistance level. So I'm looking at either the end of the day at the 4:15 expiration or the hourly closes, either one or two strikes out. So this is a indicator I've actually built, with the way the market works these days. I've said it multiple times here, make things as simple as possible. And that's exactly what I've done here with this indicator. This is called the MLT Proprietary Charge Trade Indicator. And what it's going to do, it's going to tell me when this trade is setting up. Because sometimes, honestly, I forget to look for it. Even though it's one of my 6 setups, if I'm not looking at my cheat sheet, I make sure 45 minutes into the day, hey, is this set up or not? And this is what it looks like. This is what this indicator looks like. It's going to tell me, boom, is a trade set up long or short? What are the stop levels? What are the target levels? And where can the exit be? So let's move into that. You have the 50% retracement here. It gives me a green line across my screen. It'll tell me the charge trade long has triggered. You pull down into that level and then move higher, okay? It'll give me my target buy, which is that halfway back. So the algo will actually measure the low of the day to the high of the day. Same setup, different day. Low of the day to the high of the day, you get the green bar. The green bar across the screen will tell me it's a long. If it's a red bar, it'll be a short. It'll be a short opportunity. So, color match just in case you forget. Gives you my target buy. I know it's a little hard to see. Gives you my stop. Same thing, different day. 3-bar move off the open. Comes back down. And this is a setup that's going to occur, it occurs 1, maybe 2 times a week. But that's, if you have a setup that occurs 1, maybe 2 times a week, you don't need something that's happening every single day, because I have 6 different setups. So I like to be very specific with what I'm looking for. There's no question once you get this down, what it is that you're looking for. You're not looking at your chart going, I wonder if that's a head and shoulders, or I wonder if that's a pennant, or has it broken out of the pennant. This is very clear instructions, and that's why you're able to teach a computer to do it. Once again, charge trade indicator. This one is in fact a 5-bar move off the open. That's pretty rare. When you get a 5-bar move off the open and then that halfway back, that's usually a sign of major reversal. But in this case, it was a 5-bar move off the open, still bounce. You see how we trade right in that blue level? You think there's a coincidence that we hit that level to the tick and then keep going? Absolutely not. There is computer programs who trade these levels in massive volume, and once you understand these sequences, you will see them develop over and over and over again. It becomes really, really cool. It almost makes you think that the market's quite manipulated, but as long as you know what the manipulation looks like, it doesn't matter. That's the key. You got to know what the manipulation looks like, if you believe that there is. So this is my student actually sent me this a while ago. He's like, when you listen to Jack on the Chart Trade, sent me that on Instagram, Major League Trading on Instagram. If you have one, you can check it out. But this is the trade setup he actually took. It's a charge trade setup lower. 3-bar move off the open. You can see we dilly-dally. We even peak above that level, but as long as we close below, if you had a futures contract and you sold this, you're not going to continue to hold that position because you're susceptible to technically unlimited risk. As the further the market moves against you, the more money you're going to lose. With Nadex, the risk is limited, so you can hold through positions like this. The market trades lower. This kid more than doubled his money on that trade. So putting ideas into action every single day. Every single day, I'm in my trade room, creating a trade plan in the morning, knowing the levels of support and resistance, making myself aware of the economic news, and formulating an opinion of the trend. The trade plan I do every morning is about 15 minutes long. From there, I draw up all my levels on my chart and share them with you, and you can actually populate them on your computer screen. So that's probably one of the coolest things that we offer is not only are you going to get a video that technically breaks down the setups for the day, but then every single thing I draw on my chart, you populate on your chart. On the right-hand side is our custom, it's a value area pivot point study. It's for day traders. Anybody who's watching the market during the day, it's very crucial to understand what this information is. I have to create this every single day, and I send that to all of my members who get my morning trade plan every single morning. This is, those setups. This is the halfway back setup that I use. So just an example of a Nadex trade that I took. in gold here and show you guys how it works. So this is one of the setups that I use. This is the halfway back setup. It's just a simple low to high. Once again, we're coming into that blue line. You see how we trade that blue line right there, and I highlighted that green box just to point it out, and rally right off of that level. In this specific trade, what I did is I risked $45.50 per contract. My reward was $54.50 per contract. It was 119% return in one trade in one day. I had 120 contracts. That was $5,460 of risk, and in return, my payout was actually $12,000. The commissions on the entry were $50. The expiration fee was $60. So, that just goes to show the kind of stuff, like once you scale up, how much money you can be making. It's pretty crazy. But my question to you is, are you willing to take the steps to change your trading habits for increased profits? There's 4 steps to trading. You have to trade a product with that you understand the risk-reward scenario with every single trade. You need to eliminate your psychological mistakes by reducing the complexity of either the instrument you're trading or the system in which you're trading it. You need to define the setups that are going to occur every day and then execute those setups with the positive edge, and ignore the noise of lagging momentum indicators. So, with all that being said, I've created a full-on course to go into great detail on how to use and trade this product. In that course is included is the 6 setups that I use to trade. On top of that, you're going to get the indicator that I showed you guys here today. As Andrew said before, I couldn't tell you how much I paid him to create that indicator, because it's quite a lot more than this course is going to cost you. But I have live trading videos. I'm the #1 record holder on YouTube for all of the largest trades. I have the top 3 largest trades on Nadex platform. You're going to get an ES trade grid, and you're going to get a chart trading software with a tutorial. You're going to get 1 month of the MLT morning trade plan, and you're going to get lifetime membership access. The total value of this course is $2,791. And then today, you're going to get it for $97. Okay, so I am at this point in time giving this away to the first 20 people, literally giving it away. And the reason I do that is because I'm so convinced that you're absolutely going to love this course, that you're going to want to stick around in my trade room later. So I know this is a new product. Not a lot of people know about it. That's why I'm not only am I going to be showing you how to trade, I'm going to be showing you a completely new and efficient way to trade. If you find yourself struggling with the products you're currently trading, if you are tired of being right on the trade but not making money, this is a product you're going to want to look at. For $97, think about your downside. Pay $97, look at it like a trade. Worst case scenario, you pay $97. Is that going to change your life? Probably not. That's like, a somewhat expensive date depending on where you're going. In Chicago, it's probably your average date, but maybe in a small town in America, it's a nicer date. But if you never open the course, there's not a lot, that's worst case scenario. You don't even look at it. Best case scenario, you pay $97 here today. You get this course with everything I have in it. You don't even have to look at the course. If you got this course and just use the indicator to trade the stocks that you currently trade, to trade the futures that you currently trade, to trade the ETFs, to trade the options, etc. It doesn't matter. You can do any of that. You can just take the indicator. It's a one-time fee. The indicator's for life. Now, not only are you getting probably the cheapest indicator pitched here yet, but you're going to be getting a completely different course on a product that nobody else is doing. So my best 6 setups to trade Nadex, I'm going to show you guys in full detail how to trade every single one of those setups. You're going to get a PDF format to keep on your desk. My cheat sheet is my gift to you. So how do you get started? Go to www.mltnadex.com. Okay? Go to www.mltnadex.com to enroll in the Nadex Master Course. Now, once you've enrolled, because I know a bunch of you are going to want to do that, you're going to print out the 6 setups. So I'm going to be sending you via email my cheat sheet that I print out and keep on my desk every single day. In case you forget what you're looking for, pick it up and remind yourself. Print that stuff out. Have a physical piece of paper. I'm a big fan of physical notes. I'm a big fan of physical charts. Everything we do is digital these days, but bring it back to the old school, grab a pen and paper, and plan this stuff out. Plan your trades using these setups. I want you to keep a journal of these setups you use and track your results. Now, with this course, you're also going to be shown how to set up a free demo account, which I encourage you to do. You're going to want to begin trading on the demo platform, getting this stuff down, and then move on into a live account from there once you start nailing on your positive eggs. Now, remember, I'm going to be sending you, on top of all of this, my morning trade plan, which is 15 minutes long every single day for the next 30 days to hold your hand. So this is step-by-step guidance. You are getting an indicator. You are getting a course with 6 setups. You are getting step-by-step guidance for 30 days to get you up on the ground running for $97, guys. This is the best deal you are going to see all day. I encourage you to take advantage of it before those 20 spots close up, because right now I have 4 spots left. Wow, that is going way quicker than what I was anticipated. But don't forget before every trade to ask yourself, what is the trend? Where is the major support and resistance? And what is your risk reward? You are going to learn a simplified way to get all of the answers by joining this course at www.mltnadex.com. Now, the reason I can only accept 20 traders is because if I have anything more than that, I will not be able to efficiently answer all of the emails. Okay, so that is the biggest problem here, is the fact that I have to be able to fully make sure I take care of all of my students. So with that being said, I now have 3 spots left. If you'd like to join the course for $97 here today, you need to go and sign up before I close it, which is going to be very, very soon. So any other questions you guys have here? I'm trying to see if they can come through. Don't know if I can see them all, Jeanette. Looking, I'm only seeing the ones that are answered.
Let me look. Yeah, there's some questions. Does it run on Ninja? Seems like a pretty popular question.
Does it run on Ninja? So Nadex is its own brokerage firm. So Nadex is not going to run on Ninja. You are going to need a Nadex account.
Oh, I thought maybe you were talking about an indicator when they asked that.
Okay, the indicator does not run on Ninja, no. The indicator runs on Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim's obviously a free download. We are working on getting the Ninja one built. When it does, you'll have access to it. That will be built, I think the date is like August, like 3rd. So that's not going to be built till August, but if you want to use the indicator on Thinkorswim, you can now. It's a free download, and then we'll have the one built on Ninja in August.
All right. Somebody asked if you'll be flagged as a day trader.
You will not be flagged as a day trader. Good question. So once again, one of the huge benefits of Nadex, with a $250 account minimum, you are not flagged as a day trader. You have unlimited day trades, similar to like you would with a futures account. You can be in and out. They're cash settled, so there's no, like with stocks, it's T+3, which is time of execution plus 3 days it takes to get that money back in your account unless you have a margin account. With options, it's T+1. With binary options, it's instant settlement. I've literally had days where I've made $5,000 and literally clicked the button, the money's in my account, I send it straight to my bank. You're not flagged as a day trader. You can have $300 in your account and take 30 trades in a week if you want.
All right. What expiration do you use?
I typically use a daily expiration, so depending on the time frame I'm trading. So if I'm trading, say I'm trading an hourly chart and I'm determining my support and resistance off the hourly chart, I multiply the time frame at which I'm determining the trade setup off of by 6. So if I'm looking at an hourly chart, I like to go 6 hours out at least till expiration. That makes sense. If I'm looking at a 4-hour chart to determine my support and resistance, I'm going to go out to the weekly expiration. If I'm looking at a 5-minute chart, I'm going to be comfortable trading those hourly expirations. And also, if the one thing I really like doing is I look at the Forex Factory Calendar news event, and every single week, I don't know if any of you guys have ever looked at the Forex markets, but there is so much market-moving news going on because you have FOMC in like one country like every week pretty much. So you have like the Bank of England rate change, you have you have Bank of Canada, you have Bank of Japan. All of those banks are going to have tons of market moving economic news every single week that's like equivalent to our FOMC. So there's a ton of opportunity just trading this product in the FX market with news events. So if there's those news events that I know are going to move the market very quickly, like I'll always pay attention, because a lot of times for the Australian dollar, especially at 9:30, I'll just choose the hourly contract because that news event is going to come out and I'm going to be right or wrong right away. So I really depending on the setup, but most of the time, if I'm just trading off tacticals, assuming no news events, I do the time of the chart multiplied by 6 to determine how far out I should be looking for the expiration. And that's all covered in the course, as well as a lot of other things.
All right. Thank you for the value, Jack. I'm so thankful what you're giving to us. Okay. All right. So why don't you just do this, because a lot of the questions I'm getting right now are just about the offer. So go back through the offer and explain what the indicator, what they have to have, because I'm getting like more questions about.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know why. I can only see the ones that have shown that you've answered them. So let me go back through and explain to you guys everything you're going to get, just in case you're not aware that this is the best deal you're going to have. Let me explain to you one more time that this is the best deal you're going to see the entire day. So we are going to get the MLT proprietary charge trade indicator. That is $197 value. That is a lifetime access indicator, and it literally, the value of that indicator is double the price of the entire course. So you could buy the course, keep the indicator, and never look at my 6 setups. I have 6 setups. They're all tactical setups that I use to trade. I showed you guys one of those setups today. You could see how it was in full detail. These are not like, we're not looking at pennants and guessing when it's going to break out or working about retest. They're all math-based, Fibonacci-centered setups that I use to trade Nadex. So I'm going to show you guys in full detail with video format how I use those setups to trade Nadex. Then from there, you're also going to get a PDF. So I have this little PDF. I call it my little cheat sheet. You're going to be able to print that out so you never forget which each one of those setups look like. Now, I have live trading videos with tens of thousands of dollars in profits, going over real-time examples of how to use those setups as far as what you need to be looking for. On top of that, if you've never used the charting software I use, it is free, and you're going to get a full tutorial of that software in the course to walk you through step-by-step setting that up. That's really, really helpful for new traders. If you already have your charting software down, you don't necessarily need to worry about that, but it's still a ton of great value. You are going to get 1 month of my MLT morning trade plan. As if the indicator in the course wasn't enough to convince you to just cough up $97 for the best online trading product you're ever going to buy, I am going to walk you through step-by-step every single morning for 15 minutes a day, doing an entire video mapping out the setups for that day. And then on top of that, I'm going to take everything I've taken notes on my computer, support and resistance levels that are shared from my computer, email them to you. Once you get them in your email, you can populate them on your computer and see exactly what those levels are and wait for them. So I'm going to hold your hand because I want to make sure that you are as successful as possible. So you come back to me and say, Jack, I love you, because that's what people do. They tell me, Jack, your course is awesome. I had just 3 students the other day, a couple of kids just graduated college. They took this course, took a trip down to Costa Rica and shot me a video in Costa Rica. 3 kids, one was like 22, 23, 24, took all their profits and bought a trip to Costa Rica. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that this type of program is going to teach you, a completely new way of trading. So this is a lifetime membership access class. I am constantly adding more material because this is like my core product. So all of that is a $2,791 value, and it is available for $97 today, and at this point in time, I do only have 2 spots left, and then I have to shut it down because I only offered to 20 traders, because after 20 traders, I just can't keep up with the emails. So I come in here super low. If you go to my website, this is going to be way, way more expensive. So here's your opportunity, guys. Jump on it, and if you don't, I wish you best of luck in whatever you're doing. No hard feelings, but I know seriously from the bottom of my heart that if you take this course, you are absolutely going to love it. So if I've left any doubt in your mind, let me know what I need to do to eliminate it. Just go to www.mltnadex.com and begin your trading journey on learning not only a bunch of new setups, but a completely new product, $250 account minimums. You are not subject to the pattern day trading rule. You can take 45 million trades in a week if you want. It does not matter. You don't need 25 grand in your account like you with stocks or options. This is totally new, guys. This is something you've never seen before. This stuff is powerful.